All right, Pat, we are, Carlos Correa, anyways, has played 52 games. Twins have lost like 4 games in a row now. They're 500. He's hitting 204 with a 293 on base percentage and a 367 slugging percentage. Those would be the worst numbers across the board of his entire 9-year career to this point.
It is unfathomable to me that he can be this bad, because he was terrible for a month. Okay, season started, then he got a couple of hits, then he took a break. But last night, it's not because he has a sore foot that you're taking a strike 3 right down the middle, and then the next time they throw a breaking ball inside under your hands that is probably going to hit the dirt, and you swing at it and miss it by a foot. It cannot. I don't know what's going on. He cannot be this bad. He has not spent his entire career as this guess-hitting idiot that he has turned into. He's 29 years old. He's been playing forever. When did he turn into a guess hitter that he's taken, fastballs right down the middle, strike 3, and then our old friend Jake DePew texted me last night, Jake, and said, he's a guess hitter. And I said, Jake, I've been saying that for 3 weeks. There's something going on here, that he's not reacting to the ball at all. It's like, okay, I think they're going to throw me a fastball. I think they're going to throw me a curveball. And if it's not, I can't believe how bad he is. What do you think? I mean, it's just incomprehensible.
Yeah, Judd. I mean, Judd, you're the one that you got called out a month ago by the Twins Twitter gatekeepers. No, you need to. It's a small sample size. Yeah. You need to quit being an alarmist.
Yeah, 200 million. We can't wait for the last. He got hot the last 6 weeks last year. Well, you can't wait that long, for God's sakes. You're going to be 12 games under 500. Who are they going to beat? They can't beat anybody.
Well, can they score runs against anybody?
It's going to be a battle with Oakland. Do they get to play Oakland? It'll be a war. It's just pathetic. Last night, they suddenly get a run. It's like a celebration. They got 4 runs in 4 games.
They do still have a 2.5 game lead, by the way, in the division. And don't look now, the White Sox are only 4 games back.
Oh, the Whiteys are going to win the division by 8 games. It's over. The Whiteys are going to win 84, and that's going to be like a rout. It's going to be a slaughter because nobody else will win 75. So these guys it's time. The boys over there at Target Field have got to panic. It's time to panic. There's nothing wrong with panic when it's necessary. In this case, it is necessary. There are 100 games left, and God bless us all. We're going to, this cannot continue. And somebody, and starting with Rocco Baldelli, have the guts to bat Correa 7th or 8th instead of keep putting him in the middle of the order where he's killing you. They're all killing you, so there's nobody really to put in there. But put him down there. He's making $200 million. Punish him. Punish him for being rotten. Don't keep kissing his rear end like he's your superstar. Bat him down at the bottom of the order. Put him down there with Michael A. Taylor and the fat little catcher. And it's a great little trio for the end of the batting order, those 3 clowns.
How do you, though, Pat, what I don't get is how do you do nothing? Like, to your point, nothing. They're not changing anything.
Nothing changes. It's incredible how rotten they are offensively. I finally had to call Judd after the 7th inning last night and say, "Can you believe this? It's just the pitchers they had last night could have been with the Meesville Mudheads. We wouldn't have known the difference." Did you read the resumes of these first 4 clowns that they came out there? That's it. I mean, they're just nobody, just a collection of nobodies. complete crap, and they dazzled them for 7 innings. And then the one guy that they've had for a while, this Poche, the lefty, actually let him make a little comeback against them. But
we haven't even touched on the thing that drove me the craziest last night. So Max Kepler gets on base a couple times last night.
Yeah.
We got a close game late here. Try to scratch across a run, maybe 2.
Okay, I know what it's going to be. I'm thinking of it, but I'm going to let you say it. Okay, go ahead.
I don't remember who was on second, but they stole third base.
Taylor.
Michael A.
Taylor steals third base, which is an automatic walk from first base to second base if you're paying any attention in Little League ball.
Yes.
And Max Kepler winds up standing on first base, twiddling his thumbs. Reusse gets a base hit. And of course, Kepler probably wouldn't have scored from second. Bull crap. Yes, he would have.
The other thing, but when they showed the replay, it was like he got 40 feet and stopped. You know what? But first of all, he got a late. He was late. You know, he didn't know what the hell was going on. And then
that sums up his 9-year Twins career.
Yeah, yes, it does. It's I am sure that this weekend will be his last in Minnesota, but it's like they said, okay, we're gonna go on this road trip. We're gonna give Max one last chance. And here's the bad thing. This Wallner, he's a big, strong power hitter who's in one of his hot streaks. When these guys get in their hot streaks, they only last about 2 weeks. Then
you're wasting it in St. Paul.
Yeah, you're wasting a hot streak because by the time you get him up here, he'll be cooled off. And then we'll say, oh, what do we call that guy? That's the way. We had a guy, we first came here 70 years ago or 60 years ago, Bob Allison. Great, big, strong guy. For 2 weeks, he'd take the team on the back. And then for a month, you go, get him out of there. He stinks. And then he'd get hot again. That's the way big old power hitters operate. And when they're hot, play them because they're going to get cold. But no, he's gonna come up from St. Paul in a week and he'll be cold. And everybody say, oh, what do they call this guy up for? It's baseball. You go up and down, especially when you're a big slugging type of guy. And they're just, you brought up Ober earlier a couple of weeks ago. They were wasting his innings down in St. Paul too. You know, he's never pitched over 108 in pro baseball. 90 with the Twins and then 18 with another club that year. What are you racing his bullets for? Put him in the bullpen. Yeah. Let him. Oh God, I don't know.
But like Kepler, I really do think last night was a great microcosm of he's been asleep at the wheel for 9 years. Has there been, in terms of high profile Twins prospects, and I say high profile because he was one of the top prospects in the organization in baseball.
Oh God, he was
a centerpiece figure outside of the 1 year where everyone was hitting ping pong balls over the left field fence. That's the only big offensive season he's had. He has basically sleptwalked through 9 seasons as a Twin. I can't remember a less inspiring, more comatose, high-profile Twins player than Max Kepler.
Well, I'm not going to mention who said this, but he did have contact with Max Kepler in a supervisory role. And I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned it, and he said, don't get me started. But we're not going to mention who it was. So,
are there ever any consequences too, though?
No.
Like this goes back to when Rosario would do stupid things, right? He'd watch the ball go off the fence because he thought it was a home run, or he wouldn't know the ground rule. Rocco, there's never any consequence to anything anybody does.
Yeah. That's. I mean, Correa's. Hey, there's 100%. I haven't seen a lineup, but they have an early game today. There's 100% chance he's not playing today, right? It's not going to be we're going to play you, but hit you 7. It's going to be okay. You stink. We'll give you a day off, even though we don't have any other. Even though we don't have any other guys to play. There are no consequences. They're not. Somehow they think this is going to magically fix itself.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about the hitting coach. And I think hitting coaches, if they're really good, can improve a guy's batting average by 0.005 during the course of a year. But he should get fired.
Yeah.
Who is he? He's been here a year and a half. Who's he made better? Who's gotten better? Nobody's gotten better. He's not his fault. But get somebody in here who got a hit in the major leagues. Okay, somebody.
And even if you zoom it out, even bigger picture, just the organizationally, the last 3 years, 40% of this division minimum is punting and rebuilding. The last 3, I mean, right. It is a bad division, not just this year. It's been a bad division for the last 3 years easily. And these guys are 22 games under 500 since the start of the 2021 season, while trying to win. This is coming off. Right? This is coming off of Bomba Squad division titles. Yes. Like it's not like they entered 2021 and said, "All right, we're getting a little old around here. We're gonna have to retool, reset." They've had a nucleus of guys in their mid-20s. They've had, and there's been some. I know that there's been some injury stuff here and there, but a lot of the injury stuff was either self-inflicted by trading for injured pitchers, or you could see from a mile away because Byron Buxton's had bad knees for 5 years. It's amazing, and we got time. There's 100 games left, but
well, I don't know where the hitting is going to come from. We all when the year started, actually, the pitching's been better than we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be good. It's been pretty much been better, right?
Yes.
And they're now stuck at 500 with 100 left. And they're gonna, and then after every game, they're gonna tell each other, "Well, this is a little bad spell, and we're gonna, we're not. This is, every time BSN goes in there with a microphone, we got a good club. No, you don't. You stink.
Yeah.
Here's nobody's panicking. Panic. It's time to panic.
So, all right, here's a stat for you guys. Not counting the pandemic season where they only played 60 games. How many 90-win seasons have the Twins had in the Target Field era? We'll start there.
One, the first one.
Oh, two.
No, the 101 games. 101 games.
Yep.
Too.
So they had the 94 in 2010 and then 101 in 2019. And even before that, and I get that these are different front office people and stuff, but it is still the same ownership family. They had a 96-win season in 2006, and then they had some 90s and run of like 390s in the early 2000s. So basically,
they had the decade because they lost in the playoffs. The 2000 decade looks bad, but it was really a good. They had some good clubs. They had good clubs. They had good pitching. They had great bullpens. They just the 1 year 06 that they should have. They lost Liriano in the middle of the year, and that that killed them. And then Johan then they had 2 parties to celebrate, and then came out and got swept by Oakland. That was the team, but that was a good decade. But boy, oh boy, well, they built it. They opened that place in 2010, figuring this was their baseball, right? As I've said many times, you were 2011 spring training. Hey, Reusse, can we beat the Yankees this year? Yeah, not at 63 and 99, we can't. I mean, but this is as frustrating as it gets right now because there's no explanation for it. There's just no explanation how you can be this pathetic offensive. Here's the other thing I'm extremely sick about. Well, Dick's very upset because the ball, there's a pitch to Kepler that's this far outside, and he calls it a ball. Whatever happened to too close to take? Whatever happened to that? Yeah. I first heard that when I was 8, and it's been in baseball for 100 years. Just because we have a Fox box that tells you if it was on the line, swing the bleeping bat. When you get the 2 strikes.
That's the thing. It's CB Buckner. You've got to go into any Angel umpire,
Yes.
CB Buckner, Laz Diaz. You've got to go up there swinging. I don't care what the Fox box says.
Yes, right. That's what I'm saying. The ball's on the corner.
Look at
and
foul.
it's, until we got the Fox box, those were you wouldn't even talk about it. It was on the corner. It was off the corner by a half a baseball.
Yeah.
Swing
It's
the
a good
bat.
point. As long as we have human being, yeah, and yes, we should have, in my opinion, an electronic strike zone, but we don't. So until we do, there's a human flipping a coin on close pitches. You can sit there and be like, it was a half inch outside. Okay, but you're out. So.
Yeah, right. And it's not like these balls are 7 inches. It's not like Eric Gregg is behind the plate with Levon Hernandez pitching. This is not where you can't reach them. They're at the most they're a baseball off the plate, right?
Yeah,
they're a baseball off the plate, but they're not. They're taking them and then
But they prefer that, Pat. I swear now, guys would prefer to be called out and bitch about it and say I was right, and they were right. And like Phil said, it don't matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
matter. You're right. Good for you. See ya.
Yeah. Sit down.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I'm sure they go into the clubhouse and sit around and whine about it. The manager should go in there and say, I don't know what he does. I don't know. Maybe he does.
I don't think he
Shut the bleep up about the Fox box and swing the bat. And I don't know. It's it was they got 4 runs in 4 games, right? So far since they left town. I mean, I think it's now 23 or 24 games they've had 2 runs or less.
And when it's the Rays the Rays are doing it to everyone this year, but when it's that organization with 14 people in the stands and a $50 million $70 million payroll, whatever it is, like it just holding that mirror up is even more embarrassing, I guess.
They get Glasnow today, by the way, who I don't know how far he's going to pitch because he's been out, but if he's back, I don't think he's back yet physically or not, but they won't get a foul ball if he's throwing good. We got it stuck to us by Criswell last night. Who the hell is Criswell? No, 4 of them. I never
give you a first name. I
never heard of any. I never heard of any of them. The first 4 were just guys off the street. It's wow.
Anyway. And the Twins tie it. You bring in Duran. All right, here we go. Yeah. And then a Rosarena just opposite field just hits a nuke.
Now that one you can't, but the hell Lopez was good last night. I mean, Lopez they needed that bad because Louis had 2 more hits and he's hitting 403 now. So, but Louis you got to say that Louis he does have 11 strikeouts and 214 at bats or something like that.
He's losing it.
How would he? How would he help this lineup?
Does he have options left?
I don't know.
He'd stand on first base though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He'd single consistently, right?
Wait, well, what is this? This like
I've never move.
Who are they? What is this? And by the way, we got to go because we're gonna go live for the Dalvin Cook thing in a second here, Pat. But these people, Luis Ariz. I mean, you need more than Luis Ariz. Right, but like you could use Luis Ariz.
You use a guy who's not going to strike out, who doesn't strike out. That's good thing. They saying all he gets is singles, which is better than strikeouts.
Fire pop! It's time. Fire
pop! I never met him. I never met him, but get him the hell out of here.
All right, Pat. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right, Reusse Unchained, presented by our friends at Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Boy, I think after that Twins vent session, we could all use a little exhale, a little throttle therapy out on a Bennington pontoon, Judd Zulgad.
Oh, God, would that not be nice on, a gorgeous day like today? You're out on the water enjoying it, and you can forget all about the fact that your football team doesn't have a Super Bowl, that your baseball team can't hit the stinking ball, that your winter sports teams can't advance. Forget it all. Just take a deep breath. Get on that Bennington. Throttle therapy is where it's at.
Yes, powerlodge.com or millermarine.com.